Welcome back to part 2 of my conversation with the lovely Alexa Morden. If you didn't listen to part 1, it's best to start there so you don't miss any of the good stuff. So with that being said, let's get into part 2.
And I do think on that whole thing of being like too afraid of something but I think then you're too afraid to pick a lane.
Yeah.
And I think then you're stuck in this weird
limbo.
sort of limbo of like, I'm not really anything because I won't stretch myself to be quite that, and I won't stretch myself to be quite this. So therefore I'm not really me. I'm not a whole person.
Exactly.
So I feel, sorry guys, but you have to just take the leap of faith and just be like, this is what I'm going to have, because otherwise people won't buy into you, really, I don't think. Like, I think you have to just kind of pick a lane, and that lane can change, by the way. You don't have to go, that is it forever, but you have to make decisions on things.
Social media is like the 98% started, and we say the real #actors life, because when the 98% started, this was the days of Instagram, long before TikTok, and it was, you know, people posting a picture of their highlighted lines or their trailer on set, or
which still happens actually, by the way.
It does, and there's no, you know, harm in that. We all love to do it, but our issue was when you're hashtagging actors life only when you're in a rehearsal room or on set, or the cat's out the bag, or I've just had exciting news but I can't share. If you're only posting about being an actor then, and not when you're working your day job or sending 50 emails and not getting a reply, which is, you know, a lot of the time we spend, you're perpetuating this idea that being an actor only looks like the social media version. And the 98%, I think, really, and I noticed it on Twitter, refused to call it X, you know, back when Twitter wasn't a hellscape, but we started to see after the 98%, okay, people were starting to tweet about funny audition stories, or like, oh, I'm feeling really, you know, demoralized at the moment. And now with TikTok, we've taken like 10 steps back. It's the people on TikTok painting out what being an actor is, but also giving advice on being an actor, because they think that's what builds their follower base, which will then get them more followers so that they book jobs. We're now 10 steps back, because we're in this realm of social media as a highlight reel, but also you have people wanting to profit off of your desperation, telling you that they have the answer to how to make your actor's life the 2% version. Like, I saw one person on a Facebook group, and they were like, I've decided to pack in my 9 to 5 and focus everything on becoming a full-time actor. I mean, that was red flag number 1, because I was like, but then they were asking for advice. You know, I've done a bit of extra work. Do I put that on my spotlight? The answer is no, do not put extra work on your spotlight. Asking how to get an agent. So it's very much, you know, a beginner actor coming to this Facebook group looking for advice. Great community. People gave advice. Then I go on TikTok. I'm like, I recognize this person. That same person was on TikTok making videos giving advice to people how to stand out in drama school auditions. They've never been to drama school. How to get an agent. They don't have an agent. How to stand out on set. They've never had, you know, a professional day on thing. So, and again, that's why I really work with the 98% now as a community interest company, to empower actors to know no one out there has the holy grail or the key to success that's going to unlock everything for you. People can say that they're anything online, and with actors, and especially, so you've got a twofold. You've got people romanticizing and glamorizing the actor's life that makes everyone on TikTok go, oh, I've always wanted to be an actor. This looks so exciting. I want to be an actor. How do I do that? And then you've got people going, I've got all the answers. Follow me. Pay for my expensive online course. And then that creates this whole new realm of actors who aren't doing it for the right reasons, because they think they just want to be famous and have a following, because we're in this new age of online clout and
also
all of
like
that.
TikTok people being in films and stuff like that.
Exactly. Exactly. And then it's just dangerous, because then what if these people do decide, okay, I'm really going to be an actor, and then they experience the life of a 98%, and then again, why isn't it working for me? Why isn't this course that I've just spent all this money on, why isn't it working for me and it's working for everyone else? Well, let me tell you, it's probably not working for everyone else. It's just that those people aren't selling it, then false advertising, or, you know, they'll take out the things. You really got to be careful with what's on social media. And yeah, like I could make bank with my coaching services if I said, I co-starred in a BAFTA-nominated short film. Join my coaching for 4 weeks and I'll tell you how.
I was just about to get on the credits.
Yeah,
Because everyone's like, oh,
I've won 25 Best Actress Awards from worldwide film festivals. If you come coach with me, you'll get it too.
Yeah.
You could follow everything I've done to the letter and not get anywhere near that.
Yeah, it's true.
So I'm like, I don't sell my services. I sell it on, I'm not here to help you make it. I'm here to make your corner of this industry enjoyable and fulfilling and full of confidence, whether you're pulling pints and learning self-tape lines on the way home or you're walking the red carpet. Both are valid experience of being an actor. Yeah.
Like, this is your destination and I'm going to help you get there.
Exactly.
Like, it's just not, there is, you are right. There are lots of people that will phrase their credits as things that people can achieve too. And I don't mean to like diminish and say that people can't achieve what other people have achieved.
No, but it's icky.
But it is.
It's icky. When you sell yourself on your credits, and I get it, but also having...
it builds credibility. I understand that, but yeah.
Yeah, but I hear stories of, because I've spent a lot of time in North America, of people, and coaching is very big over there in terms of paying for a coach for every audition. So you've got actors dropping $80 to $100 just to do a self-tape, and then they're coaching it within an inch of their life. They're getting the job, they're getting on set, and I've heard stories of them being replaced on the day because they can't walk and talk at the same time. They haven't actually trained as an actor. They don't know anything about continuity. They get so overwhelmed by maybe famous people they're working with or, back to ones or the fast-paced thing that, and let's say that they don't get fired or they do that job and maybe, yes, it gives credibility, but it kind of doesn't because people book jobs because they're good actors and people book jobs because they have the right look. Yeah. People book jobs because they have an amazing body of work. People book jobs because they're ticking a box that production want to tick, To then use that as a way to sell yourself, I personally find it icky for a couple of reasons. First of all, because the actors I know that are famous or well-known or working, being stopped on the street and recognised would rather die than go online and say, I've done this, and if you pay me this and do this. And also it just comes down to this idea that actors are their credits and will be seen as valued if we get a BBC thing or if we get a TV thing. I'm a good actor and a good coach, more so because of my experience not acting than I am because I worked for IT, BBC, Channel 4, start leading feature films and all of that. And there are just so many factors at play that...
For each job.
Yeah, that actors don't share. No. That, we sit here and we say, oh yeah, but you might not have got that role because you reminded the producer of his ex-wife. Like, that's totally a thing. But then on the flip side of that, you could get that role for some ridiculous reason, but then they'll never share that because that doesn't necessarily drive up business. So again, I don't necessarily judge people, and I understand why talking about your credits, shows that... Because, you don't want to be paying someone as a coach who hasn't worked professionally or who doesn't actually have the experience. But at the same time, you have to think about their why. Are they trying to, glamorize themselves or, put stars in your eyes to make them think... because also I find when the people sell themselves on their credits alone, it also comes down to this idea of you as the actor that they're wanting to sell their stuff to. Becomes this thing of what are you not doing that I can help you do, and then let's say they do these courses or do this stuff and they don't get the outcome they want,
or that is guaranteed to them. I suppose,
coach isn't going to turn around and go, oh yeah, you're right, here's your money back. Sorry, they're going to go, yeah, but did you send this many emails this week? Or yeah, but did you do this? Or well, maybe you need to work on this, or maybe you need to do this, or maybe you need to go to more casting director workshops, or maybe you need to jump through this hoop, or maybe you need to put yourself out on social media more. There's just always another
variable
hoop that actors have to jump through, which is why I approach things with actors of going, okay, I'm meeting you where you're at. And again, okay, so what's your outcome goal? You want to book a TV job within the next 2 years? Okay, great. Let's break that down into the processes so that you don't get that outcome, but you do the processes. You can still feel that you've turned up, done good work, and can feel proud of yourself.
Because there's no time limit on those things. I used to do some really random things when I first graduated, read manifestation books. And if you manifest every day, then you'll get this stupid thing. I mean, what the bloody hell was I thinking?
I could talk about but this is the thing with, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm witchy woo woo. So manifest, there is something in manifesting, but not the way actors do it.
This is what
because
I mean.
the way actors manifest is, I'm so desperate, I am manifesting a job, I will lead a feature film in the next year, I will, and then but the energy you're putting out into the world is desperation and the idea of, I don't have it yet and I want it, and if I keep manifesting or affirming to myself that I'm going to get it, then the universe reflects back that energy of, I don't have it yet. But if you go, yeah, I'm ready to lead a feature film and I'm excited for it to happen, and these are the processes I'm going to put in place so that when that does happen, I'm going to I'm going to turn up and do it. Then the universe is going to go, oh, okay, like and I think a huge thing is being happy where you're at. And I had this during the pandemic of going, okay, Alexa, if you go another 2 years without booking a job, how can you still be happy waking up every day? And that's why I think more opportunities have come for me, because instead of waking up and going, these are the things that I have to do to get closer to my goal, I'm waking up and going, I want to learn this monologue and put it on tape for fun because I enjoy it. Exactly. I want to do a screenplay read through with a couple friends, or a read through of a play because I really miss doing theatre, and like, let's get some friends together and do it. Just be happy where you're at. Focus on what makes your heart sing. Then in terms of manifesting,
and I 100% agree
the universe
with you with
mirrors
that,
it
but
back.
I think I took it as, I'm going to manifest every day and it's just going to happen to me. Then I thought, what the hell am I doing? Like, there's no actions going into that. There's no spelling out what's going into that. It's just going, please, again, desperation, please, can I have something? Well, I might as well, pray to a God that I don't believe in.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. But yeah, anyway, we could talk all day about that.
Yeah, no, we could talk all day about everything, to be honest.
Yeah.
So let's just say.
Honestly. So let's talk about your book.
Yes.
Let's have it.
Oh, ta-da!
So exciting.
Buy yours now.
It's so exciting. It's called Beyond the Spotlight.
Yes.
By Alexa Morden. And you've got a few other people.
One other, so Dr. Steve Bull, who is a world-renowned performance psychologist. He's worked a lot in sports and sort of elite business. So he works with people who are very good at what they do, but all about their mindset. So, Team GB athletes at the Olympics, or, and he's also my dad. So he brings professional expertise to help actors actually action things. But he also brings, we both bring this thing of, I was raised by a psychologist who really instilled confidence and resilience and getting back on the horse. And, people say to me, God, Alex, you're so resilient. It's like, well, I was raised by someone whose profession is to make me resilient. I wrote 90% of the book. He kind of follows up chapters. So it's lived experience and my, advice as an actor, but also a coach and a podcaster, and everything I've learned from people I've talked to. But then it's followed up by someone who has worked for 40 years in, worlds where people are good at what they do, but they want to make sure that they're very mentally robust. But the biggest difference between sport and the creative industries is if you run the fastest and you train the most and you've got the best diet and a really good coach, if you cross the finish line first, you win the gold. As an actor, you can be the best actor in the room, have the best agent, an amazing CV, really want it, be really good, amazing to work with, doesn't mean you're going to get the job. It's so entirely subjective. And that's a huge part of the book too, is how do we walk through this career knowing that we can tick every box and still not get what we're owed or what we deserve? It's really difficult. And sort of coming back to the manifesting thing as well, I think a lot of actors were kind of embarrassed to talk about this idea that, it's hard, and 98% of actors aren't in full-time work, but I'll be the one who
that's so true. It matters.
And I was, and I still believe that, I am going to get to that point I've always wanted. And of course we should all be aspirational, but that idea of the manifesting of going, it will happen because I'm owed it or I'm good and I deserve it. Well, 10,000 other people also deserve it.
Very true.
And yes, we can still work towards being the one to, reach it, but we also do have to ask ourselves, okay, what if that doesn't happen? And how do I live a fulfilling creative life when the phone isn't ringing? And when things are totally out of my control.
I must admit, I've started reading a few bits of it because you kindly sent me a digital version, and it's really what I think we're missing and lacking. Like, there's a thing of like, you know, I think there was a lady that's done a foreword in your book, and she talks a lot about the fact that we get given a lot of training on how to be an actor. I get a lot of training on how to look at a script, how to develop a character, how to write my actions, and all those things like that. And it's just, there's no extra courses on the rejections. On just
that's John Byrne you're talking about. He is the careers advisor for the stage.
Fabulous.
And he said exactly that is, we are taught how to be in a rehearsal room, you know, how to be good actors, and that's great. But if we're only doing that stuff 2% of the time, what about the other 98%? And then so I'm really excited, and I'm really glad to hear that, because I do think there's nothing else out there like this.
There really isn't.
So that actors can learn, this is the reality of the industry. This is what people won't tell you. And it's not about being pessimistic or negative. It's about being realistic so that you can find longevity in the career and not turn it in yourself and think that you're doing anything wrong. It's about being prepared, because I think knowledge is power. So to be knowledgeable is to be empowered. Be empowered puts you in a way safer position in this industry. Like I dedicate a whole third of the book to abuse of power and misconduct, because it's rife in this industry, unregulated industry. Again, if you are an empowered actor, you will be in a safer position, because if you're disempowered and desperate and seeking validation, there are sadly people in this industry who want to take advantage of that for their own ulterior motives. And we can be prepared for that by being prepared for the reality, not being prepared for what's good for business, which is, look at our fancy alumni who've done all of this, or let's only talk about the people who have made it because that's good for us because then other people want to do that. It's like there's just as much value in the actors who are working at the fringe or making their own work or doing R&Ds or theatre and education.
It's like you said earlier about just people who even aren't acting as much. I can bet you have better advice for you. It just so is true. I remember at drama school, there was people that were invited back to speak to me when I was a third year about what they've gone on and done. And it was just basically a list of their credits. Yeah. And it's that's great. Yeah, lovely. Tell me what it's like when I'm on the job. But nobody's up there is going, this is what happens when you aren't on the job and you're trying to get the job, and that's still possible, but no one tells you about that part. So people are just invited back to just talk about the credits. And it's what? There's so much other things to talk about than just the actual job.
Yes, and we are humans first. And I used to be that person acting isn't what I do, it's who I am. And now I'm the total opposite for exactly that reason of going, we are more than just our credits. And I still have publicists writing to the 98% asking for their clients to come on, and they pitch them to me as they've just come off this Netflix thing and this is what they've done and they've worked with this famous person, and I'm like, okay, first of all, you clearly never listened to the podcast, so maybe just have a bit of an understanding about what you want your client to come on. And I'm like, I couldn't care less. I could not care less what your IMDb says. But when someone emails the podcast saying, I love your podcast, I want to talk about mental health or the experience of this or the experience of that I had this or the things that I've learned about that. Yes, those are the conversations I want to have, because that's how we can actually learn from each other. Yeah, and I find that as a coach as well, as casting directors will sell out workshops, and agents, there's lots of agent workshops now, or agents charging money for advice. And I'm thinking, not to toot my own horn, but I'm a very trained actor from conservatoire drama school, but also a highly sought after screen acting studio in North America. I have over a decade of professional experience, spoken to so many people in the industry. For most actors, I think coming to me over someone like an agent or casting director will give you more of a well-rounded idea. But because I don't have this job title in my bio that's seen as a gatekeeper, people want to go to them first because they think, well, I can actually also get something out of this person. They might want to sign me. They might want to see me. But that also means that you're turning up to those coaching sessions or advice sessions not authentically you, because you think you have to prove something, or you don't want to ask certain questions or make out that you're still trying to be this,
You're
I'm
not
an
actually
actor with
gonna
all
learn
these
anything. It's
credits.
true.
Exactly. Whereas when people come to me, I say, I'm an open book, ask me anything. There's no stupid questions. And I also say to them, how honest do you want me to be? and everyone go, very honest. And some of them just want to hear, you're a good actor, and me just watching their show reels and going, you're good, this is what you could maybe work on, but and the relief that they hear, and then they might follow up. They're not going to feel confident to ask a casting director, is this show reel scene actually worthwhile? Because they're trying to prove something. But with me, you don't have to prove anything, because I see right through it anyway. And I think the great people in this industry, take casting directors for example, know the reality of being an actor.
Yeah, they're a lovely little halfway point.
Yeah.
No, that's great. So my last question that I ask to every guest is, what advice would you give to any creative?
Do we have another 2 hours? My advice would be to unlearn the idea of making it, because first of all, I don't think that even exists. Because again, I have friends who other people would look at and go, oh, they've made it. I'd do anything to have that career. They don't think that they've made it. The goalposts just change.
Yeah.
They're waiting for the next job or the next bigger job, or they're doing screen and they really miss theatre, or they're leading on the West End but they really want to do more screen. And then also, I've had this realisation this past couple of weeks that I used to think the 98% was the podcast giving a voice to, being an actor and shining a light on the realities, and then the online platform, which is, empowering actors and speaking out about things that need to change and highlighting, exploitation or things that actors need to be aware of. But I actually think that they really combine through this idea of, if you are an actor who is constantly chasing making it, then you're constantly waiting for your life and career to change. And there will be people who will take advantage of that, who will want to line their own pockets, or who will want to make you continue feeling like if you just do this, this, and this, then you'll make it, or then you'll get to the next thing. If you unlearn the idea of making it, and therefore you redefine what success means to you, because success is not just paying your bills through acting, having a publicist, flying over to LA for pilot season, leading a role in a BBC thing. Success can look like signing with an agent for the first time, or doing a self-tape challenge. If you redefine what success is, then you aren't constantly striving for something that then leaves you open to people to take advantage of your desperation to strive for something, if that makes sense.
So true.
And again, people look at my CV and go, I'd do anything to, you've led all these feature films and you've all these film festivals and all of this, and you've worked with these people and these directors and you've made your own short. That's amazing. But when I was in those jobs, I was going back to waiting tables afterwards.
Yeah.
And if I was still that person that was too afraid to admit that, then again, I'd be waking up every day not feeling like a valid actor. But from doing the 98% and coaching and writing this book and recognizing that that's the experience for most, it doesn't make me feel any less of an actor when I'm not acting. If anything, it makes me feel more of an actor, because I'm doing these things because I'm an actor. So when you redefine success, when another thing people will say, don't give up, just keep going, don't give up.
I was just about to say that.
But when you are thinking, I can't give up, you are keeping yourself from realizing there might be other avenues in this industry that are better for you. I have friends who have left acting, who've gone on to be filmmakers or DOPs or writers or dramaturgs or teachers or drama school lecturers or
something completely different.
Real estate agents or mortgage brokers, all of that. If you are, and I write about this in the book as well, the idea of a failed actor, that if you leave the industry, then you're quitting and you're giving up. I don't think you are at all. You're actually recognizing, no, I've gone through the disillusionment. I'm understanding that making it isn't the be all and end all. I've redefined what success means. For a lot of people, then they realize, I don't actually want to do this anymore. The day-to-day of being an actor is really hard. I want to try something else. But when we're told, just keep going, you never know what's around the corner. There are so many people out there who might do better and be healthier and happier doing other things that go, but I can't because I don't want to be seen as a failed actor. I have to keep going because you never know, like, if I leave, well, then you never could know that the next job could be the one that makes it all happen. And again, it's like, who's peddling that idea? And you might also be like me, where you go through this redefining and the disillusionment and going, no, I do want to keep going.
Yeah.
But then what that means is you find success in different ways of, you know, I now have a director collaborator and we've written a short film together that we're going to film in the spring. I've written a book. I've produce and host a podcast that has a really loyal listener base. I've met incredible people through the online platform. I'm speaking to journalists and investigators about my work with all of that who want to champion and support me. And that's all because a couple of years ago I said to myself, what is working for me and what makes me happy outside of acting? Again, doesn't mean that I want it any less. It just means that when an audition comes along, I'm like, oh, right, yeah. Learn the lines, do the tape, have fun doing it. But then when I finish, I've got to finish this chapter. I've got to edit this episode. I'm a creative. We're all creatives. There are so many ways to create. And if you're constantly being told, you know, don't give up, just keep going, you could be keeping yourself from finding so many other strings to your bow or avenues. Like, I'm sure you've had it with this podcast. Like, how great is it to have something that you're in control of, that is down to you, that is creative, that's an outlet, that means that you're not just waiting for the phone to ring every day.
Oh, absolutely. It gives you like such a, like you said, it just gives you such a more different release of life. Absolutely.
And it doesn't have these other things that you're looking. Like, you could be a fan fiction writer, or you might make clay models that you sell on Etsy. It doesn't have to be things to do with an actor. And I find people as well like, oh, actors, put yourself out there on social media. And then actors think, oh, well, I have to make actor content. No, you can make a TikTok about thrifted clothes, or, you know, there's
literally whatever you want.
There's an actor I work with who has a successful, like, renting clothes, like vintage clothes, sort of thrifted business. Nothing to do with being an actor, but it brings her joy. It gives her something to think about, so that you're not. And also then when I do auditions, I sometimes actually forget, oh yeah, shit, I never heard about that audition. But if I wasn't so busy doing my other things, I would have been checking my email every day, you know. So there's this whole thing of do something every day that makes you feel like an actor. I say do something every day that has nothing to do with being an actor, because we are more than actors.
Oh, massively. Yeah, massively. And I think as well, like, if you can find success, for me sometimes actually looks like what my life looks like outside of acting, in terms of like my relationship with my fiance, or like my relationship with my friends. Like, that is a massive like tick for me. And
you age and you get to your 30s, which, by the way, so many people freak out about turning 30. Actresses especially, and I have coaching sessions with them where I'm like, they're really feeling it. And turning 30 for me was just so invigorating, because you start to realize, I do want to be in this for the long haul, but there's so much more to me. Really, this is just the beginning. Your 20s are for figuring things out. You don't have to have it all made by then. And then you go, okay, what is actually serving me? And what am I doing just because I'm being told that I should do it to make myself a version of being an actor that I feel I have to be?
No, well, thank you so much for coming on chatting.
It's great.
Really nice to finally connect, because I've seen you obviously all over Instagram, so it's really nice to connect.
Here I am in the flesh.
She is on video.
Yes, for the first time on video. But thank you. It's great to have more spaces where actors can really talk about things, and I really hope that, again, I did a whole section on mental health and well-being, because again, that's just such an important part of being an actor. Is being mentally robust. Because if you think, oh well, my depression will fix itself when I book an acting job, that doesn't happen. So thank you for having me on to talk about my new baby.
We will link it and get everyone to go and buy it, because it's going to be fabulous.
Thank you. Yes.